Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live demo, where we will showcase our e-commerce reviews API. This new API provides access to on-demand global product information and reviews data for more than 950 e-commerce websites across the web. I'm Roe, the product manager of the e-commerce reviews API here at Webzio. So a little bit about our company. Webzio is the world's leading provider of big web data. We transform the vast pool of web data across the open web and dark web into structured, machine-readable formats. And this data then is insight-ready, which enables businesses to make well-informed decisions, build analytics, and power their solutions. As you see here, we have a wide range of products, including open web APIs, from news sites, blogs and online forums, dark web API, and Lunar, our dark web monitoring tool, among others. And I'm excited to be here today to showcase our new e-commerce reviews API. The e-commerce reviews API is tailored to help you extract product information and product review data into structured machine-readable web data feeds. The API collects data on a continuous and real-time basis without the need to manually configure parsers, rotate proxies, or bypass any anti-bot softwares. Now, before starting our demo, it's important to understand the three different search methods we use to support the collection of products and reviews with our e-commerce reviews API. So the first method we support is the keyword URL. And as you see here, basically we are within right now we're within Amazon. We made a keyword search for earbud and in-ear headphones, and we have over 10,000 results. Essentially, if you plug this URL into our API, we will collect all of these results and successfully extract all of the products, which then you can activate. The second method that we have is the category URL. So in the category URL, we will be able to extract all data from categories of websites. So as you see here in Amazon, we are in the earbud and in-ear headphone category. In the other one, we just made a keyword search in the search bar. So that's the main difference. Right now we're in a category section, and this also has around 10,000 results, and we can extract all of these results that are available to us. Now, the last method that is called the product URL is used to search for specific product information for case-specific scenarios. And an example of a product URL is a URL like this. So as you see here, we have a title, we have there's many different fields here, and basically we'll extract all of the different specific details on the product. And it's important to note that from a keyword search or a category search, you will always end up at a product. So at the end of the day, we're extracting product information. Now, before we move on, it's just very important to clarify that a product can be any entity with product information and potential reviews from our supported sources. So, for example, we typically support many consumer goods products from websites like Amazon, but we also can support collection of company data, for example, from Glassdoor, and we can also support collection of data from OpenTable, which is like restaurants, and even from like Booking.com, we can collect hotels. So really any entity we can collect data on as long as there's information on it and reviews. And so the point I'm trying to make is, although we call this the e-commerce API, we do support far more than just traditional e-commerce. So before we dive in, just to give you guys a bit of an overview, this demo can be useful for different solutions in the reviews monitoring, market and competitive research, product innovation, and or the digital shelf monitoring space. And all the information that will be shared today can also be found in our detailed documentation found in the website, the webzio.com. And yeah, so thanks for joining us for this live demo. And I'm confident you'll be as excited about our product as we are. So let's dive in. Great. So for this demo, we will be using Postman to help visualize each API request. And so how does it work? the e-commerce API workflow consists of 7 different endpoints. But for the sake of this demo today, we'll go over the 4 main endpoints that are used in order to collect product information and reviews and product reviews data. And in order to begin using the API, we'll first start off by calling on the first endpoint, which is called add new search. Essentially, to call on this endpoint, you'll have to call on the URL. So, we'll plug in the add new search URL. Great. And then in order to get access to the endpoint, we'll have to plug in a token. And every customer of ours has their own separate unique token. Great. So once you've plugged this in, now in order to initiate the entire process, again, just to clarify, the add new search endpoint is used in order to initiate new crawling requests. So for every single URL that you would like to collect data on, we will begin here. So the following parameters are needed to input in order to actually make the request. So first, it will input the method parameter, which is which method you're going to be using, whether it's a product URL, a keyword URL, or a category URL. So for the sake of this demo, we'll use the product URL. Next, the next parameter that needs to be plugged in is which source or domain you want to collect data from. So for the sake of this demo, we'll be using the domain Amazon. Lastly, the final parameter is the value parameter, which specifies which exact URL you want to collect data on. So for the sake of this demo, we'll use a product URL, this product URL that I'm showcasing here. So this Sony headphones. So we'll basically grab this URL and we can plug that into the add new search. And once this is done, you can send your request, double check that everything is spelled correctly. You send your request. And as you see here, the request was added successfully, and the output was we have a method ID here, which, specifies the number of the ID for the request. And basically in terms of, seeing the data that has been collected, you'll have to move to the next endpoint, which is our get products. The get products endpoint, as I mentioned, is specifically used in order to access, extract, and view all of your product information from across all of your different collection requests. And essentially the same way that we called on the first endpoint, we'll do the same with the get products. So we'll enter the URL. Once we enter the URL, we'll need to plug in the token. And once you plug in the token, you can then send your request, and you will see all of your collected products results here in this endpoint. So just let that load for a second. And as you see here, we have all of our collected product data. If you want to go over the specific fields or have a more in-depth look on our data, you can feel free to visit our documentation. But basically, this is all of your results of all of your data. And if you would like to, query or search for specific data, you can also do so. So for example, if I wanted to search for data from a specific method, then I could also, then I could essentially just scroll through here and say, okay, or if I know that a specific method is interesting for me, then I can go here and I can query by a method. So in order to query by a method, you say and q equals method, and then colon, and then you enter the method ID, and then you send your request. And basically, once you send your request, you will see all of the data corresponding to that specific method. And essentially, if you wanted to see all of your results again, you can simply remove this method. Great. So a lot of the times, this endpoint is also used to see which data, if you're using a keyword or category URL, this endpoint is used to see which products you want to retrieve actual updated information on. So for example, let's say I was interested in this product here, this UUID, and I wanted to now retrieve not only continuous updates on it, but I also wanted to collect all historical review data and retrieve continuous updates on reviews. So if that would be interesting for me, then I would select this UUID and I would visit the update product endpoint. The update product endpoint is basically used to activate products. By activating products, we will, once a product is activated, we will essentially update all product information every 48 hours as a default. And basically, if we want to, from that point on, also collect reviews data, by activating a product, we will also collect all historical reviews data, and then on a continuous standpoint, we will also update this product reviews. So then, essentially, if we want to activate a product, we'll have to call on the add new search endpoint. So, on the update product endpoint, and we'll plug it in. And in order to activate a product, we'll also have to add our token. Once we add a token, we'll have to then add the input parameters, which are the UUID. And once you plug in the UUID, you then also have to set reviews retrieval to true. Retrieval to true. And once you have this all set up, you can send your request. I have to plug in the UUID, my bad. Little error there. So we'll have to plug in the UUID. And UUID equals this. And token equal, wait, a little bit of a mess up here. Sorry, I'm just going to replug the token in. Right, so we plug in the token, and then we have to add our parameters. So we have our UUID that we collected from the get product endpoint. And then we have to set the reviews retrieval, as I mentioned, to true. So as you see here, the product was activated successfully. We have a success message here that says updated product. And that basically means that now, from this point on, we will collect all historical review data on this product. And we will revisit this product every 48 hours to see if there's any new reviews coming in. On top of that, all of the product information will also be updated at the same frequency. That's our default frequency. We also have options to support other frequencies if this is needed for our clients. And now, in order to view and extract the reviews data that has been collected on products, you simply visit the get reviews endpoint. And as we do here, we'll plug in the get reviews endpoint URL, and then we'll plug in our token to have access like we do in the others. And once we send this request, you can see all of your reviews data that has been collected here in this endpoint. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, see reviews on a specific product, you can always query by the product UUID. And like we did in the get products endpoint, you can just query by saying NQ equals product UUID, and then plug in the UUID that is interesting for you. And to send that request, we'll only show essentially all of the reviews correlated to this specific product. Right. So then also to see all of your reviews data again, you can simply remove the query. Perfect. So just to recap, basically this entire process covered, adding new search requests done through the add new search endpoint, then actually accessing that product data that has been collected, and then activating products that are interesting to receive ongoing updates and collect reviews on, and then accessing and extracting that reviews data. And that basically sums up the, how to use our API and how to extract product and review data. Move back to the presentation. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined. It's been a pleasure, and I hope this demo has been helpful for you guys. And whether your company does reviews monitoring or e-commerce reporting or whatever your use case is, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I'm here for any questions that you may have. And also feel free to visit our product page, our documentation, and or read our blog posts if you want to learn more about our products and about Webs.io. We'll also send those links in the chat bot to make sure that you guys have them. And thanks again for joining, and until next time.